Never share your next move. There's a wisdom in silence, a strategy in keeping your plans to yourself. You see, life itself is a series of moves, just like a game of chess. Each decision you make, each action you take, represents a move on the board of life. But here's the secret: not every move needs to be broadcasted. Not every plan needs to be shared. There's a tremendous power in discretion, in understanding the balance between what is public and what is private. We live in a world where everyone wants to talk about their dreams, their goals, the next big thing. Social media has made it easier, hasn't it? One post, one tweet, one story, and suddenly the world knows what you're working on. But let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how the most successful people don't talk about their next move until it's already done? They don't announce it, they execute it. The power of silence. Why is silence so powerful? It's simple. Silence where your strength lies. When you share your plans prematurely, you invite unnecessary opinions, judgments, and criticisms. People begin to project their fears, their doubts, and their insecurities onto your vision. What was once clear to you becomes cloudy because now you're second guessing yourself. Not based on your own instincts, but based on the noise around you. Imagine a builder constructing a house. Every day people come by looking at the foundation, asking questions, making suggestions, and offering unsolicited advice. Why don't you use this kind of material? Are you sure that's the right design? Before you know it, the builder begins to question the very blueprint he's perfecting. Not because he's unsure of his skills, but because too many voices are speaking over the plan. This is what happens when you share your next move too early. The vision becomes diluted by the opinions of others. Protecting the vision. Your next move is not just a plan, it's a vision. And every vision needs to be protected. Think about it: when you plant a seed in the ground, you don't immediately dig it up to show everyone. No, you protect it, you water it. You give it time to grow beneath the surface before it ever breaks through the soil. Your plans are no different. They need time to develop, to grow, to gain strength before they can be revealed to the world. When you share your plans too soon, you expose them to the elements: doubt, fear, jealousy, and sometimes even sabotage. Not everyone who smiles at you wants to see you succeed. There are people who will smile to your face and secretly hope for your downfall. Some will even go as far as to try and block your path. This is why you must guard your next move with everything you have. Let it grow in silence. Let it develop in the dark, away from the prying eyes and loose tongues of those who may not have your best interests at heart. The art of moving in silence. Moving in silence is an art form. It requires discipline, patience, and wisdom. It's easy to want to share your excitement over the world, to tell everyone what you're about to do. Die. But there's something far more powerful about keeping it to yourself. When you move in silence, you move without interference. You're not distracted by outside opinions or external pressure. You stay focused and clear and intentional. Think about the great strategists of history. They didn't announce their plans to the enemy. They moved quietly, methodically, strategically. They understood that to win the battle, you don't give the enemy your playbook. You don't show them your hand. Instead, you execute your plan with precision and let the results speak for themselves. Your life is no different. Every decision you make, every plan you set in motion is a move on the battlefield of life. And to win, you must learn the art of discretion. Don't share your next move. Let your success be your announcement. Let the results of your hard work speak louder than any words ever could. The enemy of progress, public validation. There's a dangerous trap that many people fall into, and it's the need for public validation. We live in a time where people crave likes, shares, and comments. They want the world to see what they're doing, because for some it's not real unless others acknowledge it. But here's the problem: public validation is fleeting, it's temporary, and in many cases it's not even genuine. When you share your next move in search of validation, you've already lost. You've given away your power. You've allowed others to dictate the worth of your vision. But here's the truth: your vision doesn't need validation from anyone but you. If you believe in what you're doing, if you're confident in your plan, that's all that matters. Validation comes from within, not from the applause of the crowd. The moment you stop seeking public validation is the moment you take control of your life. You no longer need to share your next move because you're not looking for approval. You're focused on execution, on making things happen, on moving forward with purpose and determination. The wisdom of timing. Timing is everything. It's not just about what you do, it's about when you do it. And this is where many people miss the mark. They have the right idea, but they share it at the wrong time. The right move shared at the wrong time can lead to failure. There's a time to speak and a time to be silent. There's a time to share and a time to keep things to yourself. Wisdom is knowing the difference. When you understand the power of timing, you realize that not everything needs to be announced immediately. Some moves need time to mature, develop, to be fully realized before they're shared with the world. Think about a farmer. He doesn't harvest his crops the moment they sprout. He waits. He nurtures them. He lets them grow to full maturity before he brings them to market. Your plans, your next moves are the same. They need time to develop before they're revealed. When you share your next move too soon, you risk exposing it before it's ready. You open the door for criticism, for doubt, for distraction. But when you wait, when you allow your plans to grow in silence, you give them the space they need to become strong. And when the time is right, you can share them with confidence, knowing that they're ready to stand on their own. Discretion as a shield. Discretion is a shield that protects your plans from the eyes of those who may not understand them. Not everyone is meant to know your next move. Not everyone will understand your vision. And that's okay. It's not their vision to understand, it's yours to execute. When you keep your next move to yourself, you maintain control. You decide who gets to know and when. You choose the timing, the audience, the narrative. You're not at the mercy of public opinion because you've taken ownership of your path. Some of the greatest achievements in history were accomplished in silence. The world didn't know about them till they were already done. Why? Because the people behind those achievements understood the power of discretion. They knew that their success depended on their ability to move quietly, strategically, and without interference. The freedom of secrecy. There's a freedom that comes with keeping your next move to yourself. When no one knows what you're planning, you're free to change course, to pivot, to adjust your strategy without the weight of expectation. You're not tied down by what you've told others because you haven't told them anything. This freedom allows you to be flexible, to move with the flow of life, to adapt to new opportunities and challenges as they arise. When you share your plans prematurely, you box yourself in. You feel obligated to stick to the script, even if circumstances change. But when you keep your next move to yourself, you're free to make the best decisions for your future without the pressure of public expectation. Secrecy is not about hiding. It's about protecting. It's about giving yourself the space to explore, to experiment, to grow without the added burden of external judgment. The danger of oversharing. We live in a culture that encourages oversharing. People post everything online, what they ate for breakfast, where they're going on vacation, what their goals are for the next 5 years. But here's the truth, not everything is meant to be shared. In fact, some things should remain private. Oversharing can be dangerous because it invites people into spaces they were never meant to enter. When you share too much, you give people access to parts of your life that should remain sacred. You open the door to criticism, to judgment, to sabotage. There's a saying, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. This doesn't mean you should be secretive or deceitful. It means you should be wise about what you share. And with whom you share IT, move with precision, not permission. Too often, people seek permission from others, sometimes without even realizing it. They share their goals and plans as a way to gain approval, as if waiting for someone to give them the green light to proceed. But here's the thing, no one can give you permission to live your own life. No one has the authority to validate your dreams. When you stop sharing your next move, you stop seeking permission. You move with precision, not with the need for approval. Moving with precision means you are intentional with every step. You're not worried about what people think or whether they'll approve. You know what needs to be done, and you do it without hesitation. This kind of focus is only possible when you silence the external voices that come with sharing your plans too soon. The moment you stop looking for permission, you reclaim your power. The element of surprise. One of the most underrated strategies in life is the element of surprise. When people don't know what you're working on, they can't anticipate your next move. This keeps them from getting in your way. It also prevents them from undermining you or stealing your ideas. There is an undeniable strength in being unpredictable. Consider this: in a game of chess, the element of surprise is often what determines victory. If your opponent can predict your next move, they can block you, strategize against you, and potentially trap you. But if you move in ways they don't expect, you maintain the upper hand. The same principle applies in life. If people don't know what you're about to do, they can't stop you from doing it. The element of surprise doesn't just apply to opponents or competitors. It applies to life itself. Life has a way of testing you, of throwing obstacles in your path. When you share your next move prematurely, you may unintentionally invite more challenges than necessary. But when you keep your plans to yourself, you give yourself the space to navigate life's challenges without the added pressure of expectations from others. The strength. Stand. In nature, some of the most powerful creatures are those that move in silence. Think of the lion, the apex predator. When it's on the hunt, it doesn't roar as it approaches its prey. It moves quietly with focus and determination. It understands that to be effective, it must remain unseen and unheard until the moment to strike. Your life is no different. There is strength in stealth. When you move quietly, you protect your energy. You conserve your resources for what truly matters, the execution of your plan. You're not wasting energy explaining yourself or justifying your decisions to others. You're simply moving forward with purpose and clarity toward your goal. Stealth also allows you to bypass unnecessary resistance. When you share your next move, you give people the opportunity to resist it, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Some may try to talk you out of it, while others may actively work to undermine you. By keeping your next move to yourself, you sidestep this resistance altogether. You move freely without the weight of other people's opinions or agendas, building resilience through silence. When you commit to not sharing your next move, you build a certain level of resilience. You become comfortable with working in the shadows, with putting in the hard work without the need for external validation. This resilience is critical because it teaches you to rely on yourself and your inner strength rather than on the approval of others. In the process of working quietly, you also learn patience. You understand that not every success is immediate, that sometimes progress is slow and steady. But because you're not sharing your every move with the world, you're not under the pressure to rush. You allow things to unfold in their own time, trusting the process rather than forcing the outcome. Resilience is also built in the face of setbacks. When you keep your next move to yourself, setbacks don't become publicized. They become private lessons. You have the space to learn, to adapt, and to adjust without the eyes of the world watching. This allows you to bounce back quicker with a clearer understanding of what needs to be done next. The noise of the world. The world is noisy. Everywhere you turn, there are voices telling you what to do, how to think, and what's possible for your life. When you share your next move, you invite even more noise into your space. And the thing about noise is that it drowns out your inner voice, the one that truly knows what's best for you. Learning to move in silence is about tuning out the noise of the world and tuning into your own intuition. It's about trusting yourself enough to know that you don't need external input to validate your decisions. Your inner voice is your greatest guide, but you can only hear it clearly when you silence the outside world. Think about the last time you shared a plan with someone and received a response that made you doubt yourself. Maybe it wasn't even a negative response, but something about the way they questioned you or offered their advice made you hesitate. That hesitation, that's the noise. That's the external world creeping into your internal process. When you stop sharing your next move, you stop giving the noise power over your life.